Hey guys, it's Evan. It's Friday, July 24th. It's 2:08:28 p.m. CT, and I think it's the dumbest thing anybody can do to just like throw away mail and not document it. So this is my medical appointments. My next one is July 30th. I have a lab. And then the 31st, I have OT. And after my lab, I'm definitely going to go get my eyes. I forgot to go get my glasses set up, but I was not feeling too good. They dilated my eyes and I was ready to get out of there. So this is from TDI. TDI says, notice to insurance carrier about employee injury. I'm trying to make sure I cover up my PII, with my personal information. That's what TDI sent me. It says the Texas Department of Insurance Division DWC. TDI DWC. We received a notice of injury illness for the employee named above. You must send an electronic data interchange EDI claim transaction for this injured employee. DWC rules require insurance carriers to send an electronic first report of injury on a request. Mind you, in 2022, this was not a thing. In 2022, TDI called American Zurich Insurance Company and they got spooked to death and never returned my phone calls. And I thank God to this day that he surrounded me with angels. A lady, I'll never forget her voice. She was very determined and very like Mr. Mendez. I would call them myself, and if they do not answer, you can submit a complaint. And she did. Sure enough, they didn't answer. Not my problem that somebody did the right thing. Thank you, God, for putting whoever that was in my life. I kept telling them that they were giving me the runaround. What is this? Wow, I don't remember this happening before. They're really thorough now. Thank you, God. I don't want to just like put all my information, but I do want to show people like the process that takes place now, modern day, because this was not what happened in the past. I feel like it's stupid of me to just throw this stuff away. I mean, like throw it away and not record that I'm throwing it away. They sent me the exact same instructions in Spanish. I don't want to put like all my PII out there, but even in Spanish it says empleado lesionado, my name, the number of the DWC number, it shows the DWC claim number, the date of injury 06/25/2026, empleador, employer, Tesla Inc., and insurance carrier, aseguradora, is American Zurich Insurance Code, número de la aseguradora, insurance carrier claim number. So they're already being super not so good. I mean, and that's like, I've done this so many times with they're awful, they're horrible. I think a lot of those people should really go to jail for what they've done. And I'm just like sticking to the facts. Tesla contracts them to do one thing, one job. And almost since 2022 to 2027. Like, come on, that is way too long. It should take 5 days at the most to, if it takes less than a day to make these high voltage architecture repairs on a vehicle, it should take way, like, maybe 5 hours. Like, people should get on top of it, help somebody get the help that they need, especially when they're injured in the workplace. At the time of my injury, Zurich American Insurance was worth $75 billion in 2022, and I was at the homeless shelter 2023, and they were worth $75 billion at the time of my injuries. So this is not right what has been done to me. So they gave me the instructions, not so much the instructions as so much that they received notice about my work-related injury. It says this packet has 3 documents that can help you: employee rights and responsibilities under Texas workers' compensation system, resources that can help you get back to work, and return to work checklist. Thank you, God. I know this wasn't a thing. Office of Injured Employee Counsel, OIEC. Notice of Injured Employee Rights and Responsibilities and TWC System. As an injured employee in Texas, you have the right to free assistance from OIC. I'm sorry, I'm just very familiar with this stuff, so I just use the abbreviations at this point. This assistance is offered at local offices across the state. These local offices also provide other workers' compensation system services from the Texas Department from TDI. TDI is the state agency that administers and regulates the workers' compensation system through DWC. Many services provided by OIC and DWC can be completed over the telephone. You can contact OIC by calling toll-free telephone number at 1-866-EASY-OIEC. 1-866-393-6432. Additional information, including office locations, is available on the internet at www.oig.texas.gov. You can contact DWC by calling the toll-free telephone number 1-800-252-7031. Information about DWC is available on the internet at tdi.texas.gov. I'm just being super brief about it. Your rights in the Texas and TWC system. You have the right to hire an attorney to help you with your workers' compensation claim. Sorry, not sorry, Tesla. At this rate, I've been doing everything representing myself, and I know that I'm not alone. I know that God is with me first and foremost. I know that God has blessed me with angels that haven't stopped fighting the fight alongside me. They may not be fighting for me, they may doubt me, they may question me, and that's fine because I know God, the God that created me, He knows me, He knows my truth. So that's why I really do spend the time, the seconds, my breath that's not promised to me, to sharing with people that you are more than capable of representing yourself. No matter how many people trash talk you, doubt you, try to make it not happen, especially in the state of Texas, it is your right, and it is more than your right. It is your divine human right to represent yourself. I don't believe that the God that created me to keep my mouth shut and keep my ears closed and turn the other cheek and blind myself to dumbness. Tupac said it best. What's our power worth to us if we don't check those people and check those systems and tell those people that are in power to check themselves? It's like me. I was thinking the other day at the library, like, what is me being so smart? It's like sometimes I see people and I'm like, you're all big for nothing. Yeah, they're tall and big for nothing because they're super dopey and dingy. And I'm just like thinking to myself, what is all of my intelligence? What is being so smart? What is that any use to myself or anybody if I just sit back and don't say anything? I was at the library and there was crap all on the seat and the doors I can't open to use the bathroom. Sometimes the buttons don't work for my wheelchair. Like, what is me being so smart for if I don't use my brains to make the library a better system, to make my community a better community? I mean, it's like I'm all smart and all brains, no muscle for nothing. I don't think so. I just hope that more people can wake up. Like that little old lady, I hate to put it that way, but that little old lady, without her knowing God, I know that woman knows God and God knows her. She stood up for everybody in the world and said, Donald Trump, you can't just slap your name on everything willy nilly the way you want. Sure enough, it came down, didn't it? That's God. God will bring it down. Samson brought down well, not the Colosseum, but might as well be a Colosseum. Samson brought all that down, and he did it blindfolded and tortured. I'm telling you, those scaffolds, that's nothing to Samson. Fixing that marble, that's nothing compared to what Samson brought down. God will bring things down using the people you least expect it. That little tiny sweet little old lady, don't mess with her. Cause she's showing off. She said you can't be slapping your name on everything you want. So that's the number one. Number one, you have the right. Let's see. This doesn't have any PII on it, front or back, so I can show you guys this. You have the right to hire an attorney to help you with your workers' compensation claim. You have the right to receive assistance from OIC if you do not have an attorney. You may have the right to receive medical and income benefits regardless of who was at fault for your injury. Hello? With certain exceptions. Your beneficiaries may be entitled to death and burial benefits. Well, I guarantee you they never looked at any of my stuff. First of all, if this is the case, why did they never ask me for my advance directives? They never did that in the past. If they're going to play the exception rule, then they need to have all the information. Stick to the facts. 4. You may have the right to receive medical care to treat your workplace injury or illness for as long as it is medically necessary and related to the workplace injury. You may have the right to reimbursement of your incurred expenses after traveling to attend a medical appointment or require medical examination if the trip meets qualifying conditions. This has never happened to me, ever, 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 ever. I lost my car, I lost my house, I lost everything. You may have the right to receive income benefits for your work related injury. There are several types of income benefits and eligibility requirements. Information on the types of income benefits that may be available and eligibility requirements can be found at tdi.texas.gov. I'm being really brief about this because I'm not doing this for my own health. I'm doing it to really help people. 6. You may my own health. I'm dying. You may have the right to dispute resolution regarding income and medical benefits. But we're all dying, Evan. No, my chomps are not fixed. My brain, my noggin's not fixed. People keep telling me there's nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with me. I had a car full throttle hit my head first, and I'm grateful, thankful to God. I don't know how to. I say I'm a baby dinosaur. If I was a dinosaur, Michael DeMakio to be a Mr. Mendez. Yes, actually, this is Mr. Mendez the veteran. I was informed from my care team providers at Houston that it's already been completed and I've been assigned a PCP. And I've also been informed by KOPC that that process was initiated. So I was just calling Sugarland OPC to see what the status was to schedule an appointment. Please and thank you. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that. Yes, please and thank you. That was me. I dropped my pencils. Okay, give me 1 second. September 28th. Okay, at 11. Okay, thank you so much. In your name? Thank you, Miss Jones. And my new PCP's name? How do you spell that? Doris. Okay, and Miss Jones, you may not have the answer to this, but my college and so my college, oh yes, my college, mainly my college, is requesting for accessibility some information and documentation, and also if I can maybe just leave a message. I can talk to my OT next week about it at Houston, VA. But I was informed that what's needed for my accommodations for college for school, it is called a assistive technology evaluation. Is there a way to leave a message that I may need a consult for that? Thank you. Thank you so much. I got that penciled in, and I'm penciled in for that date, September 28th at 11 o'clock. Okay. Okay. Can that be penciled in to my appointments? Because I think I have labs already scheduled the 30th of this month. So if I couldn't this month, the okay, cool. So I can't get them done this month. I appreciate you. I just figured kill all the birds with one stone type of thing. Shouldn't use the word kill, but knock them all out if I'm already going. Yes. If that is possible, or I don't know. Well, I'm thinking, is there a way, Miss Jones? Because I'll be at HOU, Michael DeBakey, on the 14th. Is there a way to get my labs and everything taken care of on that same day? Okay. Okay, they tell me that I have to have it scheduled now. Like, I don't know if you can see my appointment on the 30th at 8:15 July, but they're saying that I have to have my labs scheduled and penciled in like that one is. That's what wheelchair transportation is saying, that my labs have to be scheduled as an appointment. If not, they can't transport me. Okay, if we can do that, please and thank you. And I'm just saying to spare me all the trips. I'll already be there on the 14th, and that seems like it's in, yes, of September. Thank you, Miss Jones. Okay. Okay. I will be there September 14th, and I have three appointments that day. One at 8, one at 12:30, and one at 1. 12:30. Correct, yes, and then one at 1 p.m. I would think EMT walking is pretty fast. I would think so. So 9 should be safe. Okay, cool. Plus, that gives me a pretty good break so that I can grab something to eat before my 12:30. Perfect. Thank you so much. And just the only message I have right now is I was told by my college for the accessibility accommodations that I had this morning was to ask my care team, my PCP, if an assistive technology evaluation console can be placed. Please and thank you. It's called an assistive, ASSISTIVE. Thank you, Ms. Jones. Yes, technology evaluation, and that's for like to evaluate and see what devices I need, like what particular devices I need for, with my disability to attend school. Correct. Yes. Thank you so much. Well, a console, I should say, assistive technology evaluation console. Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Jones. I got that penciled in, and I'll let transportation, wheelchair transportation know. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Okay, sorry if you had me take a well deal. Okay, so this, yes, as I mentioned, I'm a baby dinosaur. If I was a dinosaur, I think I'd be a brontosaurus. Well, maybe not right now because there's a lettuce recall. I'm just making. This is the Spanish. They gave it to me in English and Spanish. Mm. You may have the right to dispute resolution regarding income and medical benefits. There are several types of income benefits. Okay, yes. You may have the right to dispute resolution regarding income and medical benefits. You may request medical dispute resolution if you disagree. First of all, like, I feel like number six, I feel like I need to let them know that number six doesn't really apply. Why? Because Governor Abbott signed a new law in the state of Texas that we no longer, people in the state of Texas, I mean, you have the right to dispute it, but also Governor Abbott signed a new law, a new bill that says that we no longer have to wait for any entity or anyone to take a corporation to court. So that is considered the insurance carrier as well. Like, I don't have to sit here and wait for this process that took me forever, wait for them. But also, I think that that's kind of like not the loophole, but that's part of the problem. Part of the problem is a lot of these attorneys, they know this, and I feel like they prey on people workplace injuries because they know how difficult, not that loophole, but they know how difficult that system is. And I think that corporations and insurance carriers find the loophole that they know that someone is going to be exhausted in that transition of, like, if, let's say OIC, I know because I've been there. Let's say you lose the case with OIC, then OIC is going to tell you you have to go to a court and file a lawsuit. Like, that's your right. But the thing about it is, now not only has the insurance company evaded state and federal laws and that accountability, but now they, in the Rainmaker, for me, I guess because I have a lot of psychological problems in the fact that I've fallen in love with these women that love psychology and I could care less about it. But now I see the psychological, I guess, qualities of that story of the Rainmaker. And in the movie, Danny DeVito, he eats, I can't remember, he eats food inside the hospital and outside the hospital. And for me, it kind of came together with, for me, I guess the psychological aspect of that came together for me in the sense that in the book and in the movie, I think for me, it's like he wasn't an ambulance chaser. Like, I mean, I know the movie and the book make it seem that way. I think in the series they call him a paralawyer, but for me, it's like the answers were always right in front of them, but they just exhausted themselves like crazy because the double billing was like flat right in front of, staring them in the face with the food he was eating at the hospital. And that's kind of, it's not so much the double billing as it is the insurance companies are in multiple systems evading money. Like, they're wasting money, time, and resources and avoiding paying all forms of fees and fines and all kinds of stuff like that. I was talking to a Cobra Department of Labor employee for the insurance side, and they told me, Mr. Mendez, I can't even begin to add up how much money that would be against Tesla in fines for not paying what they were supposed to pay. And I said, I know, I understand, this is my life. And I mean, imagine if that's the company I work for alone evading fines and fees, how much the insurance company has avoided fines and fees, not just through federal systems, but local and state systems. Like, I'm almost positive there are local municipal laws that they're violating. And that's child's play to these people. They could care less. Luckily, thank God, I had a police officer in Schaumburg, Illinois, who took my call from the state of Texas. They took my concern and my call seriously and filed a police report. And I told them every single day, Shelda White and that team, Stephanie Soak and all of those people, that Alex Brown or whatever, all these people whatever I think that was their names. I don't know. All these people, weird names at that office that they were all saying they're working on my case and on my claims, and they were not. So how can you sit there day after day? Obviously, someone's clocking in somewhere, getting paid to work on my case and on my claims, and nothing's happening. This is what's happening. I've been homeless forever, but I know that God has me in His kingdom. So then, 7, you have the right to choose a treating doctor. It says if you are in workers' comp healthcare network, you must choose your doctor from the network's treating doctor list. You may change your treating doctor once without network approval. If you are not in network, you may initially choose any doctor. If you do not follow these rules, you may be held responsible for payment of medical bills. And that's my problem. Is like, as a veteran, one, I should be taken care of. I should not even have to be going through this system, but I am because it's a workplace injury. But and that's like my huge point. It says right here, it says if you are employed by a political subdivision, for example, city, county, school district, and I'm probably making this literature sound more informative than what it actually is. I do that. I tend to do that, but it's not. I like to fluff things up because that's just who I am. OIC staff can help you understand these rules. You have the right for your workers' compensation claim information to be kept confidential. Yeah, right. Also, an employer that is considering hiring you may get limited information about your claim from DWC. And I think that that should be something that is more highly regarded as private because even my school, like my college said, we can't even tell your professors about this stuff. Like all we can do is forward them your accommodations. And I think that that's, I mean, I'm thankful that I go to a really, really highly reputable university online, UMGC Global Campus. But I feel like if a college can do this, a university has that logic to be that safe and secure when it comes to somebody's medical information, then why can't a state entity that reports to federal entities, like why can't they simply respect people's health information? Like they should not be giving employers, they should just do kind of like my university did. Like we can only send your employer this thing, like that you are approved, or this history, form of history, or what can be approved, or this type of information, but we can't give them all of your information. So I mean, I think limited information, I feel like that should be entirely scratched out. Like, and also like from what, and I need to get on it, but from my appointment today, I have to email approval that yes, I am okay with this. And even after I email approval, I have to fill out a form so that they have the green light to send out to my professors this accommodations list. And it says your responsibility in Texas workers' compensation system. So there's 9 of them, and I'll just be brief through this. You have the responsibility to tell your employer if you have been injured at work while performing duties on your job. You must tell your employer within 30 days of the date you were injured or first knew your injury or illness might be work-related. You have the responsibility to know if you are in workers' compensation healthcare network. Number 1, I already did. I reported it. And number 2, yes, it is my responsibility. But first off, like, I feel like if a billion-dollar company like Zurich doesn't have the sense or the capacity to be that ethical and that communicative with Tesla, which is probably one of their largest contracts, to say we have received this report and it's being processed or whatever, just simply that. Like it took me a long time just to tell people from the VA, like I'm not even getting any form of respect on the line as far as like, my call has been received, can I be put on hold? Like, this morning it was like, you reached Sugarland, OPC, or, I'm sorry, I mean, people sound smarter than what they actually are, but, you reached this, can I put you on a brief hold while I'm on the veteran with the other line? Like, if you can't let Tesla know, like, we received this workplace injury, it's being processed, time frame, then they don't deserve to be contracted, like, at all. And at this rate, I hate to even say this out loud after everything, the horrific crap I've been through, but at this rate, the reality is that Tesla is more than capable. I shouldn't even be saying this out loud. It is not a requirement for a corporation to have workers' compensation insurance. It is a blessing and a nightmare that Tesla does have workers' compensation insurance. But to be honest, Tesla has the capabilities and capacity to internally handle workplace injuries. It's sad, but to be honest, that ecosystem is way above and beyond capable of, as crappy and violent and hostile as that environment was, those people that caused me harm probably had enough resources to help me get back to work faster than Zurich. Zurich, all they did was worsen the situation, delay the situation, evade all cost treatment and care, and make matters worse for me. And I hate to even have said that out loud, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't. And I like to say, one day I'm here for Elon in the day or in the case that he needs somebody to get him out of any future troubles. I'm right here because the God that I know, he does not want me to have my heart so hardened in any form. And I have told people, elders in the past, or people, spiritual brothers and sisters, like, I don't believe in that narrative that even Buddy told me about Pharaoh's heart being hardened. And having Greek roots, I looked at the actual word hardened and what it meant in the Greek world. And the word hardened actually meant more in a legal form. And I think that for me, it makes no sense that constant spin and narrative of Pharaoh being so angry that he chased Moses. I don't view it that way. I view it like in the way that God actually revealed himself to Pharaoh through the only way he knew he could get through to him, which was love. And Pharaoh didn't really love anyone or anything more than his brother. That wasn't really his brother. And I think that hardening was more in a legal form. Like, Pharaoh wasn't so angry that he chased Moses for me. For me, they say that love is slow to anger. And if you think about how slow and how long Pharaoh waited through all the plagues before he chased after Moses, he could have chased after Moses plenty of times. But why would I? That's like, okay, that's like, let's say I see the person that has caused me the most harm, the corporation and Tesla and Elon. That's like, okay, that's like me flipping the tables around, turning the tables, and me saying, like, I'm gonna get 100 Bugattis or thousands of Bugattis, and I'm gonna rush to save the company and people's lives or someone's life. Or, like, let's say, which Elon is already under a lot of heat and trouble. That's like me saying, I'm gonna get a million which is not even that many. But I'm gonna get the world's greatest cars, a fleet's exotic cars, the highest luxury, best of the that it takes millions of dollars just to get to half a tank or whatever, and drive it down the block, and the fuel is gone. And I'm gonna go save this person. Why would Pharaoh get his greatest chariots, the most nicest of the nicest chariots, the strongest of the strongest soldiers, to chase somebody he could care less about? That was chasing a God that he didn't believe in and thought his brother was nuggets, lost his chicken nuggets. I don't see that story in the way that most people see it. I don't see it like he was so angry he chased Moses. No, I saw it that he saw like his only true love, which was his brother. That was the only love he knew. I mean, all of these horrific things took away people that were close in his inner circle, his kids, his wives, his community, his civilization. Mind you, Ramses and his dad had legions of kids and women, and he only went after one person that by blood wasn't even his brother. That's like, for me, my mind doesn't work like everybody else's. I don't see the logic in chasing after somebody you could care less about. He cared the most about Moses. And what I'm saying with what I've gone through in this, and I hate to even say what I said about the reality, but that is the reality. The reality is that SpaceX, Neuralink, Boring Company, all of these companies in that ecosystem and under that umbrella monopoly, really, or the reality is a racketeering ring. All of those corporations and entities have the capacity to, for themselves, handle these workplace injuries, help anybody that's injured in the workplace, and safely return them to work without the intervention of an insurance company. And all this insurance company has done, not only to the legal department at Tesla, but to the company entirely, is cause them harm and more damage. And I can share a story about, well, two stories. I mean, my own experience, yes, but one is Victor Gomez. There's a highly super well known lawyer. I don't even want to give him that credit because I think he's garbage. His name is Jim Adler. He was only able to get $1 million for Victor Gomez, who was a third party contracted employee that was electrocuted on the breaker. And me, I know the entire high voltage architecture of that entire factory. It's not far from, it's a duplicate of the factory in New York. And New York Gigafactory was the very first of its kind to cancel out all of the energy it exerted. And Giga Texas was a replicate of that factory. And imagine being zapped by all of that energy. I'm talking about the sun day in, day out for years up until that moment of that accident, and being zapped by all of that energy and dying. $1 million is not enough. And Jim Adler got them $1 million. And I'm sure he got his cut out of all that, and that's awful. And sadly, I like to compare that type of instance or that case to cases that came way after my situation. It's a bunch of phony lawsuit cases that are like weeds. And I had this situation lately where I tackled the wrong type of weed, which is just weird. You know, you would think if you spray for weeds that all of the weeds would die, but I sprayed for weeds and more weeds came out, a different type of weed. Hold on. that's my alarm for my inner world event. But anyways, I'll wrap up that point that I'm making. So then I looked up the type of weed that started coming out. And mind you, there wasn't much of this weed. At first, there was a lot of those yellow dandelion. There's a lot of clover. And then I'm like, what the heck? So like now all those other weeds are gone, and these one weeds that were very tiny baby spawning are now spawning all over the place. I'm like, how the heck do I did I combat the wrong weed? I don't know. Just how things work out. But that's how I feel about all these whistleblower cases after mine. I feel like, oh, and the ones before mine. Like, I know the one with that chick with cancer. I know that's a bunch of baloney crap. That person, they need help and they have problems. And there's no way in heck that any of that stuff is true because unless she can say that she dismantled a roadster or a Tesla and with her own hands, there is no way in HE double hockey sticks that her name was engraved. And I have seen the rarest Easter eggs inside of Tesla vehicles. I have been able to dismantle to like the smallest components possible. I can visualize in my mind's eye the rear component of a Model X wiring and the QC stamp on that wiring. I know every single proprietary color of a wire and that it's been QC checked in Mexico. Like, I know all these things. Don't ask me why or how. That is how well I know these cars. I couldn't tell you on a freaking wheel how I feel or my emotion. I can't tell you that. But I can tell you the lug nut pattern, I can tell you the torque, and I can tell you the PSI of every single Tesla model vehicle model. But don't ask me how I feel because I just, whatever. I don't, emotions and feelings, it's not my thing. I can tell you the grade of glass from 0 to 00. I can tell you the temper. I can tell you all kinds of weird stuff. Panel, coat, everything, hinge. I can tell you how to put just about every single car, even the Cybertruck. All these features into dyno mode. I can tell you all of these things. I could probably still, if I really concentrate, tell you the software underwriting and the procedures and the sandbox sessions and toolbox, step by step, how to dyno and how to do all of these things. I can, with one finger, I can put my finger at the seam of the driver's door and take apart the entire driver's side panel, the entire vehicle. I can even take off the steering wheel with my pinky. The yoke of a Tesla, I can take it apart with my pinky. So, but don't ask me how I feel because I'm not good with my emotions or my feelings. So it's hard for me to really share, but I am embracing now who I am, my knowledge, my intelligence, in the hopes that this never happens to anybody again. But that's how I relate to these things. A lot of these so-called whistleblowers, like, I don't need to sit here and keep stroking my ego and claiming that Eminem says it best, I am whatever you say I am, and if I wasn't, why would I say I am? And you can question me all day and night, but I think it's exactly that reason I know who I am. I've already told them I notified the emergency line, the incident report line, or whatever. You have the responsibility to know if you are in a workers' compensation healthcare network. Ask the employer you work for at the time of the injury. If you are in a network, you have the responsibility to follow the network rules. If there's something you do not understand, ask your employer, call org. If you would like to file a complaint about the network, call TDI's customer helpline. If you work for a political subdivision, your employer should be able to provide you with the information. You have the responsibility to tell your doctor how you were injured and whether the injuries were related. I was injured inside of a Tesla vehicle, inside of a Tesla service center that came from Tesla Giga, Austin, Texas. 1 Tesla Road, Austin, Texas, 78725. can't boring it down anymore. You have the responsibility to provide your current address, telephone number, and employer information to DWC and the insurance carrier. DWC can be contacted. I already did that. You have the responsibility to tell DWC, the insurance carrier, anytime there is a change in your employment status or wages. Eligible beneficiaries or persons seeking death, burial benefits have the responsibility to send completed beneficiary. I mean, I could have died in this process. I mean, I almost did multiple times. You are prohibited from making frivolous or fraudulent claims or demands, which I never made. First of all, like this does not apply. And trust and believe, they're going to hear from me. I'm going to circle number 9, and I'm going to circle number 6. Because I do have a right to demand things. Why? Because I serve my country, and this is a benefit to me. Another thing is Governor Abbott made it to where these billion-dollar companies and billion-dollar insurance companies, Governor Abbott made it so where they don't take advantage of people like me anymore. This is just the checklist. Return to work checklist. Your doctor. Give your doctor this information. Okay. Now these are worth keeping. The other ones, the first ones I threw away. But these are worth keeping. Resources that can help you get back to work. Everything that Tesla did not do helped me go back to work. This page was left intentionally blank in Spanish. These are just the same thing. This is just the same thing in Spanish. Okay, so these were worth keeping, and it's where to start. So after my accessibility stuff, so trust and believe, number 6 and number 9, I'm going to let them know that they need, first of all, if they're going to put something like that, then they need to put the laws. And also, if they're going to be so high and mighty about that, then they need to put the law that Governor Abbott just signed into place. Maybe that wasn't in effect at the time of writing that, and they need a revision date on this, which I don't see a revision date at the bottom of any of that paperwork. They're doing it to the wrong thing. I'm not the one. Note the X. Okay, this is the Department of Veterans Affairs. The same stuff over and over again. This was July 16th. Okay. There's that. And then, this is the talking book program that I highly recommend once I get it all sorted and signed. Alright, I need to jump on my thing, on my inner world and event for a little bit, and hopefully somehow get sparked and motivated to knock out what I got knock out before COB ET. Peace out.